Today, yes today, we find ourselves all equally blessed on this journey through greater and lesser evils. Join us as we explore the hard realities and uncomfortable truths plaguing our society. So without any further ado, let's jump right in and rip this bandit off together. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome back again to Greater and Lesser Evils. I'm joined as always by the Tankalicious that makes everything so delicious in life, and Xavier, the head that you want to rub every time you see him because he's so fucking sexy. How we doing, boys?
Hi.
You're doing great.
Do they still say that? Hi.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that good when I talk about rubbing some dude's head right before we start the whole show?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yummy.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
No?
I don't really know.
Well.
All right.
Well, we're back again. Today for you, we got Ricky Stanicky.
Ricky Stanicky.
Now, it's a little bit off keel for us. Let's get started on
Yeah, I can sum up Ricky Stanicky in right now. It goes something like this.
We're going to take a brief break while Frank changes his pants.
Do farts have lumps in them? No? Then I might have shit my pants.
You know what?
Farts aren't supposed to run down your leg?
What episode have we not talked about bodily fluids within at least the first 5 minutes of actually filming?
Honestly, Ricky Stanicky wasn't that bad.
No, it was definitely something. We'll definitely get started with that. As always, before we get started with the read, though, ladies and gentlemen, spoilers from here on in. You know, there's tons of things. What stuck out for you most for spoilers?
We spoil everything, actually. Kelly Clarkson wins American Idol.
Oh.
Just in case.
I didn't know that happened.
Is she the one on Monday Night Football?
No. Is she on Monday Night Football?
No, it's Carrie Underwood.
Oh, okay.
Carrie Underwood also wins American Idol. Just in case.
Oh, is this all the Carries win? Is that what it is?
I think it might be a
conspiracy.
little.
Oh, get him started on Carrie. He loves the movie Carrie, too, though. I mean, look.
Oh, yeah. She reaches out and grabs at the end of Carrie. Just in case you didn't see that one.
Okay, all right.
Look,
is that enough spoilers for this one?
I think that's perfect.
Yeah,
okay. Just again for a note, when we do horror movies,
I got you.
I
got you.
I'm just gonna sit here and like wave a little flag.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got some good ones coming out this year, actually. All right, so back to Ricky Stanicky. It's starring Zac Efron, your favorite High School Musical sexy boy, John Cena. Who, I mean, if you don't know who John Cena is, just if you can see me. And the comic Andrew Santina, written by Jeffrey Bushell, Brian Jarvis, James Lee Freeman, directed by one of the Farrelly Brothers, Peter Farrelly.
Just one.
Yeah. You might know the Farrelly Brothers from Something About Mary, Dumb and Dumber, Kingpin, etc. How they've made their money.
Man.
so this is what it comes from, Dan. Okay.
Yeah,
it's a lot of this movie. You're just like, how did this end up in this movie?
Well, that's the thing. When you look at only one Farrelly brother, you know, and the other one probably said like, I don't want to
I don't want a piece of
this.
Kind of like the Wachowskis. We talked about
Wachowskis.
The Wachowski.
Whichever they
were the Matrixers.
The girls,
right?
Yeah, they're females now.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry,
I know
people.
Kung Fu.
Come on. Yeah.
That's probably my favorite. That's probably the only part I remember from it. I know Kung Fu.
Show me. Do you know? Show me.
He's the one that should wear the sunglasses right now. That's why. That's you know what they've been asking for.
I just want to take both pills and leave.
they even themselves out. You know, like if I take a red and a blue, what does that do?
What's the purple do to me?
They're like,
that's how you watch Matrix 4.
Yeah,
that's literally the recipe for watching Matrix 4. You gotta take them both.
Exactly. They're like, no one asked that question before.
You wake up next to Bill Cosby. It's what happens if you take them both.
You know
what happens?
He wake up and put his clothes back on.
If anything's been proven through that trial, you know who you want to go out with? Bill fucking Cosby. That man's gonna have a good time one way or another that night. You roll with that role.
Either we're having a good time or I'm having a good time. was basically should have been the catchphrase.
Yeah, it should have been.
It's awful.
Oh, it's happening. It's
Going
down.
It's very happening.
All right.
Party with that one too. Budget of $50 million. Now, some brief notes on this before we nothing in the box office because it's on Amazon and it's number 1 on the Amazon most watch list.
Wow. Yeah, I will say this honestly. You know, when you're looking at a catalog of the way that movies are given to people now, this really wasn't that bad for a low productioner like Amazon that's trying to compete with Netflix and HBO Max and all the other big, streaming services.
Platform,
you know, so
stuff like that. Yeah.
Honestly, for their first shot at a serious, with big name actors in it and actresses, I'd say this was actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
Not wrong.
But not great. I mean, obviously, it's a lot of toilet humor. If you like toilet humor, and a lot of guys do. Farts are funny and things like that. I think it resonated with the audience. Right now on IMDb, it's like a 6.5 out of 10. And for a comedy, that's pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's super shocking.
Mm-hmm. It is. One note I'll say is this movie's been trying to be made since 2010. Do you want to guess?
Yeah.
He already knows because we talked about it, but I'll put this on you. You want to guess what actors were attached to this movie at any point during the time between 2010 and John Cena actually getting that role?
I would say maybe Ben Stiller.
Nope. I'll give you one more.
Say Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey was one.
Stop lying.
Nope. Jim Carrey was attached to this film for a brief time
There's
frame.
no way.
Yep. You want to know who else? Jonakin Phoenix. Joaquin
Phoenix.
Yep.
There's no way.
Yep.
I'm sorry,
Jonakin was
excuse
attached
me,
to it.
excuse me.
I got one more.
This is legit shock.
Nicolas Cage.
But Nicolas Cage makes sense to me, honestly.
Yeah.
Nick, we want you to play a plumber today, we need you to plumb. And Nick be like, whatever you need. Yeah, we got you.
God, yes. I don't do impressions.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure he does not have a British accent.
Yeah, no, for that movie he would have. For that part he probably might have.
Okay,
he might have indeed. All right, so let's just go into the movie.
The summary.
All right, so we start into the movie. Actually, the start in is not bad. The way they create Ricky Stanicky makes sense. They make a bad mistake. They've got a house on fire because of a bad Halloween prank gone wrong, and they forge a life of malice and non-responsibility. And they see that it works because adults are stupid. They write. Look, the worst thing ever on this is the plot point is they write the dude's name on a pair of underwear.
On a pair of underwear.
It's his jacket. I thought it was his jacket.
Oh, either way.
Yeah,
they
but
just write
whatever.
it on. I mean, yeah.
I'm embarrassed to say I paid attention that much. I think pretty sure it was his jacket.
Yeah. So just a little bit more. So in the beginning, it's Halloween. 3 kids going down the street. It's a house that's not giving out candy, so they decide they're gonna do the poop bag prank.
Mm-hmm.
Poop bag prank doesn't go right. They set the bag on fire.
Yeah,
and inadvertently burn the house down. All right, that's it. Right. They burn the house down. Mm-hmm. They end up leaving. Like it was Dean. Dean came up with the idea of leaving
Zac Efron's character.
Yeah, Zac Efron's character ends up leaving the thing.
Yeah, he writes. He takes the dog's dick off and he writes. They're like, let's make up a name.
Yeah, and it ends up being Ricky, and then Stanicky ends up in that way. So. And then
because they're kids.
Because they're kids, and then they just follow along the rest of history. They end up blaming whatever
I would have wrote
wrong.
My principal's name down.
Yeah, exactly.
Something.
Exactly.
Like some random kid you're just mad at in school. Not like just make some random one up.
That was the first thing about Archer. He always used Cyril Figgett's name for everything he did. What was wrong? Cyril Figures. You want to know what happened? Yeah.
Nice. So I'm going to start with something very. I'm going to start with a nice alley oop with this one. Halloween. This is 2-parter. What is the best costume you ever worn on Halloween your entire life, and what's the dumbest shit that you ever done on Halloween?
Oh, well, I took my wife is like a country girl,
okay.
And I put her stuff on backwards, and I went as,
by the way, Frank's wife.
I went as a reverse cowgirl.
Oh,
and I was never invited back to a Halloween party ever again.
Okay.
So Best thing for me ever.
But I would call it. That sounds like a best costume to me, though.
It really
best costume
was.
idea.
Yeah.
Straight up, you should have won. I would have gave you like.
They were like, "What are you, girl crisscross?" I'm like a reverse cowgirl, you know.
And
they were
just
like,
go. Yeah.
I mean, I would have gave you best costume.
Yeah, I would have given you best costume. What you got? Most original too.
"Thanks."
Yeah, no lie.
Yeah.
What's on best costume? Ever?
Yeah, best costume. Dumb as shit. Whatever.
I didn't really do anything.
Tell me
dumb.
about Halloween.
No, but I did. I went as what is his name from Pitch Black?
Diesel. Riddick.
No, Riddick. Yeah, I did Riddick one time, and I also did Gladiator.
We can see that.
Oh yeah,
with the skirt.
definitely.
Yeah, I wore the skirt instead of like the thing. Yeah. So yeah.
I mean, he's
that's
got
awesome.
the quads though.
Oh yeah. If I looked like that, I would just be making up excuses
Xavier
to
says
show
you
that
get
off
naked.
all the time.
Yeah. I like it. I can actually see you as that, man.
Yeah.
I would have went as like every wrestler every week.
What do you say, brother?
That's right.
You're going down.
That's right.
This week, what are you gonna do?
That's right.
When the
The
24
largest
inches are coming
pythons in the world come down on you.
You know what's funny? You just said about Gladiator. I was just watching a short on YouTube. The Russell Crowe is getting. Everyone's asking Russell Crowe about Gladiator.
I saw
and
that,
he's
yeah.
mad. He's
I
like,
saw that.
stop asking
Yeah.
me about it. He's just mad.
Yeah.
Like he just goes off for like 3 minutes about no, I know nothing.
Yeah.
Stop. He doesn't want me in the film. Just stop. Like he's like a bad breakup.
Yeah, he
like,
is. Yeah.
It's hilarious to
He's
watch.
like, I am dead in this movie, okay? I am dead. Stop asking me questions about a movie where my character is dead.
We're not going to ask the fan base what you think Xavier should go as next year because they're all going to say, just naked man. Just naked. Every one of them would just be like, we're just naked man. That'd be a great costume for Xavier. Just naked man.
I love it. I'll share what I was last Halloween somewhere on the screen, but I'm sure there'll be tons of stuff all around him. There might be a training men in the
Give Tank
background
his
behind
clothes.
him too.
Put more clothes on Tank. Take less clothes off of Xavier. Then basically...
Oh, this Halloween's gonna be amazing. Stay tuned. Wait till our holiday
Yeah.
edition or a Halloween edition.
It would have been a great movie if they just would have ended it right there. But
It would have, actually. Yeah.
but it had to go on.
Yeah.
So this started their life of lying to their loved ones to do whatever they wanted instead of actually, being men and taking accountability for their actions, saying, we're going to do this. And they basically form a life based on it. They go through a nice little animated cutscene about them doing some bad stuff. And, it just makes our whole species look absolutely horrible about what we can do to exploit each other.
Well, men specifically, honestly, trying to get out of, even like the birth of your child.
know, right?
I'm watching this going like, who's really that selfish and self-centered and things like that? And then it turns out it was like the Three Musketeers.
Yeah.
They
had
were
planned
doing
this.
that.
Yeah, they planned it to start off
planned
with.
this
Exactly.
for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
Also-
like, whoa.
Yeah.
Saying that you had a relationship with someone that isn't really alive is probably not a good start to start any relationship.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. Yeah. So they go through it. Real quick while we touch on it. Worst lies you've ever had that you want to talk about? Anything crazy? Anything? I'll share a personal story to start with this, just to make this viable so people show how dumb we can actually be.
Here we go.
There was one time I broke a ceiling lamp in my parents' house. Okay, it was a high up ceiling lamp. I used to be an avid baseball player. I used to be very good. It just so happened that I was swinging my metal bat in the house, and I swing it the wrong way, and it hit the ceiling, and the thing came down. Now this is an expensive light coming down from the sky. When questioned by my father, my response was to blame my little brother at the time that was no more than a year and a half years old who couldn't even lift the baseball bat more than like I don't even know off the ground at the time. And I said that he did. And I was adamant that he did it. I was like, I believed my own lie before I made my lie. It was horrible. But it's funny as hell. My dad still brings it up to this day.
Dad help you pick out the suit to wear to your brother's funeral, and that's how I lost my 1.5-year-old brother.
No, he's still alive and kicking and being a little shithead. I love him dearly. Love you dearly, motherfucker.
Wow.
You guys got anything?
I don't.
You got anything?
No,
Boys Law, you want to talk about?
I was actually a law-abiding citizen for
I guess
most
I'm the
of my
truant.
life.
So be it. I'm fine with that. So we go through the movie. I found it funny. The first thing that made me actually slightly giggle was the gang violence by instruments. Where you have all the gang members, they're doing that Hero of the Week segment. And the first Hero of the Week segment, you got all these gangbangers in the background just playing flutes and instruments on the side.
I forgot about that scene.
I got a little chuckle out of it.
I forgot about that scene because the duck stole the show.
Oh, we're gonna get to that duck. That duck was absolutely amazing.
Well, yeah, I think one thing to touch on though is I think the real question is I think the perfect premise of this movie is how they came up with a fictitious person and then managed all of them pulled in to blame one person.
Yeah.
Right. So whenever something goes wrong, it's like I don't know. You have to appreciate I call it going with the lie for that long.
But it's a little easier because you can tell that after they became adults, two of them end up working together and then the other one's kind of off, so, but when you're not running in the same circles, it is very easy, to use that.
Yeah.
Hence the creation of the Bible. And the Bible is what the thing that was put in. How much arrogance do you actually have that you're never going to get caught, that you're keeping a large book with you at all times? That if you see in the movie, I mean, it's like about this big, and they're like, let me flip to this chapter now, and let me go ahead and write in it.
So that everybody knows the lie.
Yeah.
Everyone, so that way the lie's written down.
Yeah.
They can all keep
because it is a mutual
building
friend.
upon the lie. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you gotta keep going.
It is. So
it was genius. I'm gonna call it. It is what it is. I mean, I think the idea of the movie, it is genius. Hopefully, no one.
Well, yeah,
goes along
it's
with
someone's out there living like
It's certainly
someone out there is living like
but
this.
like maybe we should do this. I would
Please
never.
Please don't do that. We're not endorsing it.
smarter.
No, we're way too much alpha men that we're going to be like, look, we're going to go do this. And none of us is dumb enough to go on our baby shower day of your first child.
Born
to
baby.
some dumbass Mark Riboulet fucking concert.
Granted, the baby was 6 weeks early, but still, why would you make any sort of plan while you're in the third trimester?
Bad.
Yeah.
So that's how they get caught. That's how they have to actually make him up in real life. They see him in a live concert. Again, 3 grown men at a Mark Riboulet concert. Look how out of place they were at that. They were like, that was just sad to me in the first place. Like, the gambling in the Atlantic City I can get. I mean, I love gambling and I love drinking. I mean, so I ain't got no issues with that. But, let's go to a rave party. No. Nope. Interesting chuckle though and I looked this up. The man exposure with the baby holding your skin is actually a real thing.
Yeah, I did that with both of my kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe not the second they were born.
Okay, all right.
From the nurses and things,
And
but once we got home.
And you also didn't try to milk them.
No, I definitely did not get
that one point, I was
anywhere
so point,
near
then
my
they
nips.
took it. He took it to the next level with the
absolutely
with
not.
the milking part.
No, especially
that sucking on the nipple part.
I
That was
was
just
like, what is this?
Yeah.
He took right up to the line and then they went over and I was like,
keep off the grass.
Yeah.
There needs to be a sign.
yeah.
So,
but no, I did. Like the first time the babies cry. If mom's asleep and dad's awake, and I did like to put
it's a heartbeat thing, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a heartbeat thing. Yeah.
So they can hear it and feel it, and the skin to skin contact. It just feels really natural for the baby.
Okay. All right,
So,
I can understand that.
yeah.
I didn't think that.
Yeah, I didn't do it, all the way until they graduated high school, or anything.
Come on over here, give me daddy. Lay down with the daddy.
They're walking across the stage. I'm lifting my shirt up for them. Like, no, I didn't. No, it's just for like the first few weeks of the child's life.
So what this scene does also cue, and other than that, quite funny watching Andrew Centino hold a weird baby and sucking his nipple, and everyone just all that
Shock value.
Yeah,
You know?
it introduces the first time that we see that they can get out of this.
Mm-hmm.
And what do? They double down on a lie, which makes the lie that much more worse now. And now they have to create the character.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a building raising thing. Now, go ahead.
No, I'm gonna go off topic about this, right?
I'm about ready to really go off topic.
Okay, I'm about.
So
I'm
please
about
do
to go
something
into
here in a
this.
second.
I'll tell you what really got
save
me.
this movie,
about-
Xavier.
Yeah, no, I ain't say save it. I'm not saving it. I'm burying it. I'm getting ready to bury this right now. All right. So what I'm saying. So the first thing I got to say is what is the guy? I think it. So there's a character in there.
Got to make sure it's facing forward. I'm just saying. Go ahead. This character. Sorry.
Bob, we need a sponsor. We need a sponsor right now. No. The character is Keith. Rick. Rick is a problem in this scene. Okay. So Rick is
the gay lover.
The gay guy.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the whole point. They don't establish whether they're married.
Keith. That is Keith.
No. It's
Keith is his name. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So
because Rick is the black guy.
Okay. Rick is the problem.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not making it. I'm saying Rick is the problem.
Okay.
All right. I'm saying is Rick is my main problem in this movie. Because so I'm gonna go. It's you know what I hated about this movie was so somehow Rick became a magical black character. If you paid attention to this movie, he is. He's a magical black character.
You're not wrong.
You know I'm not wrong. Elaborate.
So a magical black character is a character that is placed inside of a mostly predominant white movie.
Can I say the word without getting in trouble?
What's that?
Token.
Oh yeah, so that's a definite word. But so he's a token black guy put in the movie, but only to serve the purpose of moving the story forward. Yeah. Notice he never had anything to say outside of he was the voice of reason, right? Mm-hmm. He kept telling you should just go ahead and tell the truth. So remember, this is the same guy who spent 30 years telling the same lie, right? Yeah. But now for some strange reason he wants to just go ahead and just tell the full lie.
Clean.
Yeah, he wants to come clean. Yeah. Right. Another thing is, how did his lover get in that room, the labor room? I'm not in love with his husband. I'm gonna say his husband. Yeah. Right. Well, the only reason I'm saying is because why is he in the room? Right? Why is he in the room? So the other women deserve to be in the room. No, the other women deserve to be in the room. You tell me. It's so many parts of this, and I know I'm gonna sound really bad right now. I'm sounding really bad. When I say I'm sounding really bad, I
was telling him I didn't use the term token, but the token. Actually, I will say one thing before you get away from it. He at least didn't go damn or shit.
Yeah,
he didn't do the.
I know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So this is the part, like I said, that really bothered me the most. So this is a thing, and I understand this is not a hit against anyone who happens to be gay, right? But what I will say is this, and this is bothered the most out of me. Why would this gay man, and I mean like this man, why would he go for an effeminate man, right? So what I say effeminate, like would normally the reason why you're attracted to the opposite person was because you understand that, right? So the normal dynamic goes male female, right?
Well, sure, but even when you're talking about personality traits and features and things, opposites really do still attract.
Exactly, still attract, right?
Yeah.
But this goes back
even
to
same sex.
No, exactly, right? Mm-hmm. So same sex, you would think that would be a thing, but at the same time, why would you want a bitch in the room? This is there's no excuse my language. He's a bitch, and I'm not talking about Rick. I'm talking about his partner. His partner is a straight bitch.
Yeah, but he's the cripple. He tried. So they actually did there was a couple cripples in this movie.
No, because exactly. So that's not the issue. The issue is that why would he even deal with him? What is this?
Bad comedy.
It wasn't. I don't think it had anything to do with bad comedy. I think it was a horrible character. I mean, he, of all the people to question what is going on in that room. First of all, he shouldn't be in the room. He could never have kids. Mm-hmm. Why is he in a birthing place? Just had a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. I mean, the families are close.
Can you do that though? Can you go? I don't even think. I've had issues going to the hospital.
That's one person being in the room. That's a brain kid.
There's 9 people in that room. There's the 2 grandmas. There's the 2 people. There's the baby, and then there's the 6 of them on the side.
Well,
what room is big enough for that in a hospital?
Yeah, sometimes you got to turn your brain off, especially for a movie like this.
Exactly. That's what I was doing. But for some reason, man, I'm telling you, in that movie, I don't know what it was about that scene. It was just so many things that happened. It was a point you actually get up, and I don't know, for me, I got up and I was like, why is this dude in the room? Why is he there? He should. It's, you know, because man, this movie was rolling good to me.
Yeah.
Up until that scene, and I found myself just snapping out of it.
Yeah.
It's like the movie, because I love like guy film, you know what I'm saying, like guy, but like because this movie is, to me, was supposed to be like a Hangover kind of movie, right?
Bad.
Yeah.
The first Hangover is a classic.
It is amazing.
It's a top 15 funniest movie
It's a
of all
buddy
time.
comedy.
Yeah.
You know,
And
doing buddy antic-y things.
Yeah, and even in that movie when I can't remember the character, but he ends up having sex with the trans like girl in Thailand.
Ed Helms.
Phil.
Yeah, Ed Helms.
Phil.
Yes.
Or not
Yeah,
Phil.
yeah.
Ed helps care.
When he gets a tattoo
Yeah,
on
he
his
gets a
face.
tattoo on his face.
Stu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So even in that scene, it addresses like the kind, but in an actual funny way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Because
It
Todd
complete-
Phillips is a great writer.
Well, that's
and
why,
a great
you know, when
director.
you see that only one Farrelly was on this, you know, I feel like maybe they tried too hard. And another, it's kind of hard in comedy when somebody goes, you know, hey, be funny for me for $1 million right now, and you go,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So here's only one Farrelly going at it, you know, and I do think that there were some parts in this movie that were cringe on purpose. You know,
Fair.
So
That's their style a little
So
bit.
you can feel that, you know, like when they move this in and they go get Ricky, Rock Hard Rick,
Rock Hard
Big Boner Brian or whatever they were calling him. And
You're just making up
here's-
characters. You're helping me with my next character I make
it
up.
just
So.
can't get any worse than where it
Oh,
was.
we're gonna try here in a
So
second.
you know, but they go and grab him because you know they, like you said, they want to double down on this whole thing, and there he is in the club, you know, doing the, you know, singing the jerk off.
It's fun show as Tank was talking about. He's got a one-man show where he started off with dogs having sex, and then he tried to maneuver to guys or people having sex in dog outfits, and then he decided he found his true passion, which was turning songs that are not intended to be masturbation songs. Actually, it got some funny parts in there. I got a little snicker when he was in the Britney Spears part when he got the call from them. The Alice Cooper one was spot on, at least with the dress. He at least sold
And
the act.
I do like an actor that doesn't take himself very seriously.
seriously,
You know?
yeah.
And if there is one saving grace to this, for Ricky Stanicky, I cannot see anybody but John Cena playing that part. For what it was, I really do think he did a really good job of being that.
Yeah, he
There's
did.
you
that
know,
physical form of
he
comedy.
definitely-
and I
Yeah.
loved in the Oscars,
Yeah.
you know, when he came out and he
Yeah.
looked so embarrassed. Maybe he is a better actor than people thought.
Put him into exactly,
You know,
like
and
led on to
Absolutely,
yeah.
you know, because he's got a very good straight face.
Yeah.
You know, to pull off, you know, that type of straight man comedy, the deadpanning, you know, like Tommy Lee Jones in several movies,
yeah.
like in Men in
In
Black.
Men in
you
Black,
know.
yeah.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and you
But
know,
it
with
was
the
straight.
deadpan
Yeah,
face,
deadpan face, straight
you know.
delivery, yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
you know, and I think John Cena is another one of those. I loved him in the Tina Fey movie Sisters.
Yep.
You know, and
Drug dealer?
he's the drug dealer, and he's like, you know, I've got coke and I've got weed and I've got Flintstone vitamins.
I haven't seen that.
Oh
man.
yeah, that's
I've
great.
seen that, okay.
It's
Yeah,
actually
you
it's
gotta
one of the
see
best
that one.
parts of that movie. It's
Yeah.
Tina Fey, Amy,
Yeah.
whatever her name is, their little love.
He delivers a
thing.
lot of his,
Okay.
you know, with a very
a very
serious
brief scene.
face,
Okay.
and it is hilarious.
Okay.
Funniest scene of this movie by far, when they get to this, is the duck and the dog.
Oh yeah.
I love
Yeah.
how homicidal
The duck was, yeah. I was like, is this duck trying to drown the dog?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was like, whoa, I did not see that coming. 100%.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming. I was like,
and that's kind
Whoa.
of the thing. Like there were several parts in the movie that are actually quite funny.
Yeah.
You know, like the duck and the dog.
Yeah.
Was, you know, and that's really how, you know, the shock value. You know, you're definitely not expecting it, and
Yeah.
that's how you bring that across. That was comic gold.
yeah, it was.
You know, and then Zac
it was.
Efron's gonna go in there. You know,
And save his dog from
You
a
know,
duck.
yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
who
After
who saw that
starting
coming?
the situation.
It was the same. There's some rapid fire comedy in there too when Ricky Stanicky meets William H. Macy.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And he goes, "Hey man, nice hair plugs."
Yeah.
And he's like, "These aren't hair plugs."
He's like,
You know, he's like, "Oh yeah, like it's the doll's hair.
Yeah.
Like the doll's hair is the
Yeah.
doll's hair." Man, I thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
And they zoomed in too to make
Yeah.
him
Yeah,
look
to
like a
make-
So
genius.
you could see
So,
that,
exactly.
you know.
Yeah.
But so you cue
Interesting.
You Kubricky Snicky coming in. The SAG minimum is actually $983 a day for someone. So just in case you were curious about if that's an actual total, that's what an extra would get paid that has roles. That has a line as the SAG minimum, just in case anyone didn't want to know that. Jeff Ross comes in. Jeff Ross is that comedian that we all love to hate. Like, I love him in roast, but every single movie that he's in, he's horrible in. We get to the interesting part that was just not necessary. The gay Christmas book with the...
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, why?
I don't know.
It's like, what's weird is that at that moment, I found my mind just like turned off.
Yeah.
Like, there was a point, I'm telling you, I heard words and then my mind was like, I'm not taking this anymore. It's like legitimately said, I can no longer take this.
The problem I have is inclusion for the sake of inclusion.
Right.
If you give it to me organically, a lot of these pieces really do make sense.
Right.
Because we're all supposed to get along. We're all supposed to, celebrate our differences and things like that. But when you push it into somebody's face, it just really doesn't work as well, does it?
Right.
And that's kind of the problem with the scene like that, and you're trying to give screen time, and things like that. But where I did think it got really funny was when he says, I told him that you and I used to date.
Yeah. And I was like,
and he's like,
whoa.
so what kind of sex did we do? Did we do the old faceful?
Yeah.
Did we,
do you remember any of those names? Because I'm sure that they'll be coming across the screen right now.
Did we do the shaved biscuits and gravy?
Yeah.
And I
was like, please don't let this be real. Please don't let this be real.
I tried to Google these things.
Oh, they're real.
I Googled these things, and now I have to go to marriage counseling with my wife because she's like, "What are you into?" And I'm like, "No, baby, it's not what it looks like."
I saw this in the movie once.
Yeah, I saw this in the movie. She's like, I'm not going to do that in the bedroom with you. Well, I'm like, no, it's research.
Yeah, I know.
It's just research.
What
the hell is
very hard
two dogs in a bathtub? She thought it really, I'm like, I have no idea that these were things.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I made up two dogs in a bathtub, but like everything can sound really gross.
We're gonna call that a float on a roll.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Everything can kind of sound like dirty sex.
Barking in the rain.
I gave her the old homeless kitty. That's where you put it in one of her eyes, and it's just kind of. Like, oh my God!
Trademarked.
It goes.
Put it in one of her eyes.
It goes
homeless
meow.
kitty.
Yeah,
It goes
and then she
meow.
goes,
Yeah.
like that's awful. Like why would you name it that? Why would you do it in the first place?
There we go. That yep.
But that was really good when John Cena, when Ricky is saying all the things.
I really hope y'all enjoying this. I'm sorry now because
Right.
This is funnier than the movie. I'm going to say this is funnier than the movie.
Than the movie.
Oh, for sure. But that's why I'm saying, like, the movie did have its moments. It really did. I can see why Amazon should consider this a success. Really should. But at the end of the day, it's not going to compete with, like, it's something about Mary.
Right.
This is not a Farrelly classic.
Right. Yeah.
Or like when the world decided like Blazing Saddles is still like the number one comedy of all
so
time
amazing.
according to like IMDb. Like there's still a lot of things, but for this being maybe.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think Blazing Saddles could be made now?
Yeah, I think even
You think they get away in this climate now?
No.
With being made,
I think there would be a lot of outrage.
Yeah, but
don't get me wrong.
I think it still be made right now.
I think there's enough people around, from every walk of life that can look at this and laugh.
Yeah.
And go like, oh yeah, these are stereotypes, and it's this and it's that. But people are just like Borat. People are going to go like, oh my God, it was so anti this and it was anti-Semitic that and whatnot. But yeah, obviously we're making fun of people,
exactly.
And we're making fun of stereotypes, and Americans don't like to be portrayed in that light, like Borat 2.
Exactly.
They're just, it's all a conspiracy.
Rudy Giuliani was amazing in Borat 2. If you did not see that scene, that's what you're paying for right now as a politician.
He's not a politician anymore.
Yeah, because he's broke. He's broke and he can't even pay his fees for what they're suing him for.
But comedy should be for everybody, and the whole point of comedy is to laugh at ourselves, and that's why like I thoroughly applaud somebody like
Mel Brooks.
No, John Cena. For taking a role like this.
Nice.
You know,
All right.
and knowing that it's not to be taken so seriously, because he's come a long way from wearing jorts. That was already comedy to me.
Yeah.
You remember his first movie?
The Marine.
Marine.
Yeah.
So
I was saying,
he was
Marine.
He was
I've been saying that. Yeah.
awful.
Yeah, he was awful, but it was an action movie.
Well, sure,
it required zero thinking.
Right.
But you know what? I would
Probably
watch
was
that
able to
movie
do his
right
own
now,
stunts.
too. Yeah,
You know?
I would watch it right now. Robert Patrick's the bad guy in it. I'd sit here and watch
Sure.
it right now.
But John Cena's come a long way.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and I loved when he took that role as Peacemaker.
Yeah.
And even the
outfit.
The outfit
Yeah,
is
he
just
sold the
kind of
outfit, yeah.
But he did. Like he
Yeah,
looked
he sold
great
the
in
outfit,
it.
yeah.
He was sarcastic and he did a lot of great things, and then you don't have to CGI because his muscles really are that big.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to do anything else but have him run through walls or do the things that he does. He's a terrific deadpan actor.
Yeah.
And the way that he delivers lots of his lines are just really comical.
Yeah.
And lots of people, lots of actors along the way do extreme roles where Robin Williams, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, yeah.
Tootsie was Dustin Hoffman. You know,
Oh, yeah.
and I don't want to. This is certainly not in that.
No, I
It's
understand.
not that
So
caliber.
he's good at it. The point is like
Yeah.
he's come a long
And
way.
he's a great sport.
You can tell like he takes this like lightly, you know.
Yeah.
Now,
like
you've
he tries
talked
to have fun with it.
Correct. You've talked
Loved
about
it.
both of you guys talked about the career arc of what he was talking about here. So I want to bring up the conspiracy theory right now we're talking about that has been passing through online.
Oh, you're
that this
talking
is
about
almost
the humiliation ritual?
yeah, the Illuminati humiliation.
Have you heard about
Yeah,
this?
I know what you're
Xavier?
talking about. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So what do you feel about that?
Back to back, he had to show up on the Oscars naked, and then he does a movie like this
Yeah,
that is incredibly cringe.
I will say the one thing this bothered me a lot. Like honestly, seeing him in the Britney Spears outfit.
Yeah.
And you know what bothered me even more? The fact that it was recognized that is the Britney Spears outfit. You see where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
Like, because the question I go like, how did I even know that was a Britney Spears outfit? He wasn't. Because that's the scene. Think about this. He didn't even sing in that scene.
Yeah, he just knew.
He didn't need to,
though.
Right.
And that's my whole point. Like, but how did I know? Even in my mind's eye,
You were already
I knew
like he sang
that was
"Jerk Me, Baby"
Yeah,
one more time.
and that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
you know,
you knew.
just knew it.
Exactly, and that was my exact point. I was like, personally, I didn't appreciate him being in the dress because at the end of the day, he's John Cena. That's what I'm saying. He's John Cena. It's this man. I mean, he needs to run from no one. But as a matter of fact,
we did
people
get a
should run
payoff
from
scene.
him.
There,
Yeah.
We got a payoff scene
Yeah.
that I like the most of that whole ensemble with him in the dress. Is he's sitting there crying on the next to in the sewer or not the sewer in the
dumpster.
the alley next to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
dumpster, and he calls. He goes Rock Hard Rod or Rod whatever his name Rod Redson, and he just goes right back into
Yeah.
character again.
Yeah.
So that's where the funny part I
Yeah.
got full circle off.
Okay,
but I
yeah.
can see where you're coming from.
Yeah. Yeah, because that did disturb me a lot seeing him.
So do you think this is Illuminati thing?
It didn't make
Look
it,
at Arnold.
Yeah, because it didn't
Look
make
at some of the other character arcs that we can bring up in here. I can flash them forward here on the screen right
Yeah,
now.
but that's what I'm saying. But because he didn't need to be. I mean, he had already established he was already funny. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, if any part of this movie is funny, it's John Cena.
Yeah.
John Cena is the funny part of the movie. It was completely unnecessary. It didn't move the story along either for him to put on the dress.
No.
It didn't. You know what was even bothering me? It was like,
Right.
he had on a one piece, like it was a heel that went up to over the thigh, right?
That was a
Over
very
the knee.
elaborate outfit.
That was
I
a
was
very
like-
elaborate outfit. I was like, and then another thing I go, why did I notice that? You see him going like this?
Because this is what we do.
Yeah, that's my exact
have to
point.
talk about it.
Why
So-
did I notice that? That's disturbed me. Like, why did I notice that? Right? You watch this movie, you're gonna say the same thing. Like, why am I?
Where am I looking at that?
Yeah, why am I looking at that?
So I wanted to put this up in the
my eyes
in the
grinding
Do you
John
think Matt
Cena's
Damon
legs?
actually bought a zoo too? Do you think Matt Damon bought a zoo when he bought a zoo?
No way.
You don't think so?
There's no way he
I'm
was.
willing. I'm actually going to bet right now. I haven't looked it up. Again, straight up, have not looked it up. I'm willing to bet he at least donated a zoo or was part of a zoo project before he did the We Bought a Zoo. Just knowing the level of actor Matt Damon is. So.
He probably got bit by a lot of things.
They know he's evil off the bat. They know it.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I promise if I can find anyone biting Matt Damon, I will put that in the cut too while we're talking about this as well. So just to know that it's in the background there. So just to fast forward with this,
Fuck this zoo.
he enters their
Man, he
lives.
just keep biting me.
He sells the character. He actually becomes Ricky Stanicky, and then he starts destroying their lives from the inside out because they realize they can no longer live in a lie. And they're not mad at him because he's actually doing well. They're mad at him because they realize that the overwhelming thing is that they can no longer lie. I do like the throwback to the Kingpin incident where Rapunzel, his girlfriend, gets stuck in there.
Oh, yeah.
That's Kingpin where they put Woody Harrelson's arm in there and then chops it off, and he's got the chomper hand for the rest of it. So I like how they double back to old Farrelly comedy. What is with John Cena and shit babies? So John Cena has been using the term shit babies before Peacemaker, but Peacemaker he brings it up, and then he brings it up actual shit babies. That term's actually out there. That stuff cracked me up that people refer to themselves as being shit babies. A shit baby is when your mom is getting railed from behind, right, in the other hole. And she gets pregnant because it drips in from the other side. It is actually a real thing. That is a real thing.
I thought it was just like
No, I thought it was
It's scared me so much I had to look it up.
You know, you say you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely.
That's one thing I didn't want to learn today.
Yeah,
But
I didn't need to add it to my repertoire, but there we go. Yeah, to my
I had to share
library
it. I
in
had
my
to
head,
look.
but there we go.
He's been doubling down in all his
Yeah.
movies, and so be it.
yeah,
So
I read the Bible.
I don't think that scene is in
Yeah,
there.
that's
I'm just saying that. Yeah,
definitely
that's
not
definitely
in. You know,
That's
in the
definitely not
Passion
in there, yeah.
whatsoever. Passion of the Christ was
Yeah.
definitely not addressed in that.
It missed that window.
Right.
I'm just saying that, like, kind of maybe it's in a hidden page somewhere. Yeah, but
the hidden text of the Bible.
the hidden text. Yeah,
No
We
deal.
talk about shit, baby.
yeah.
No, not a thing.
Did not know that was a thing. Though.
Was
I
that in
thought-
the Damascus Scrolls?
Yeah.
Did they find that? And now they don't want to bring that
I'm
out?
not surprised Nitro knew that. You know, he didn't even have to look it up.
Yeah.
You know, it's tattooed on his rib cage.
That's why I'm wearing a shirt. That's why I'm sporting the Bears paraphernalia right now, so you don't have to see those extra tattoos. But fast forwarding to he becomes a business executive. He does some horrible scenes in there that you just cringe through. Zac Efron's actually horrible in this. I like Zac Efron as an
Me too.
actor. And he even his whole thing
wasn't his greatest work.
No.
You know, he did show up and go through the motions, but
fair.
I think in this, John Cena steals the show.
Yeah.
If you know, if you're really into turning your brain off and just watching, you know, a decent toilet humor, John Cena, for me, does steal the show. I think he delivers his lines. I think he took the role very seriously, and Zac Efron was just there to be, you know, a pretty face.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
And just kind of bounce everything off of him. So, you know, I wouldn't say job well done. I would just say that he did his job.
Interesting. With that being said, the his character whole portion,
Dean.
Dean.
Yeah.
Man, we talk about bringing things up that aren't necessary in the movies. There is no part of that movie that you can tell me is necessary. That they have to bring up his abusive father for justifying his lies.
Yeah.
And all the things
Yeah.
that he's
It was
done.
kind of useless, you know, because
it didn't serve a purpose.
really, yeah, you know,
Because he could just say, "I'm just a terrible person," and that's okay.
right.
All right.
Or even if he was just a punk kid, you know, like the other ones, you know, what were the other two excuses of why they needed a Ricky Stanicky to blame things on? They should have just been like rambunctious boys will be boys.
Yeah, the difference was nobody. Apparently, the writers didn't care.
No.
like
Yeah.
it still surprises me. Like you say, it took 5 writers for this movie. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. When you watch the movie, it's really, for me, it's hard to believe that it was 5 writers.
Yeah.
That did this, and because it's so far all over the place. It's like the movie's trying to be every comedy movie. You know, I call it popular comedy movie, like Something About Mary.
Yep.
Like I said, Kingpin.
Sure.
Freaking,
And what's funny is Something About Mary and Kingpin. Is that Farrelly?
Yeah.
okay.
So if he's a,
They didn't split until like 5 or 6 years ago.
And I don't want to say like, well, if he's a one-trick pony, but if the jokes sound familiar, it's because it was the same writer.
Okay.
And he may only have a repertoire that still may be vast.
And you love talking about that.
But when you're using, the best jokes that hit in the best movies, and you're trying to replicate that again 20 years later, then it would only make sense that, somebody would use, very similar, Kingpin reference or...
I just don't like how they took a topic like abuse and then they wrapped it into this justifying line.
Glazed over it. They just kind of glazed.
It was very glazed over. Mm-hmm. It's like it seemed like it should have been more impactful, but at that point, I think the audience just checked out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You just kind of like Well, that didn't do anything because it immediately goes right into his girlfriend and then his fiance or is it wife? This is wife, right?
Yes, his wife.
Okay, it's his wife. It goes right into his wife. And how amazing she is. He doesn't want to lose her.
She is sexy in that movie, too.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's straight up like,
she's
wow.
gorgeous.
Yeah, exactly. But it goes into that, and then he goes into the super, appreciate her doing this. I don't want to lose her. But yet he's been lying to her.
For how many years?
Since day one.
You don't know how long the relationship
is. Day one. Yeah. Since day one.
Again, she said she wanted to go to Dollywood.
She's just like,
why would a bunch of dudes? Why would a bunch of dudes go to Dollywood?
Right. Dollywood is amazing.
No.
Dollywood is amazing.
I'm not saying Dollywood is amazing. My point is that
I will take you guys to Dollywood right now. We can go to Dollywood right now. Wrap this shit up. Let's go.
Well, the point is that you still wouldn't exclude your significant other if you said we're all going to Dollywood.
Yeah.
Right? We will still go. But we could all have a good time together.
Why would we not want to go with our women?
That's my point.
Or our significant others for that matter.
See, that's what I mean when I say it's like it didn't serve a purpose. You're like, you just said, I don't want to lose her. I'm doing all this for her. No, you're not.
No,
you're not.
It's just selfish.
Can't justify a lie with another lie. And that's the thing. Again, you're justifying a lie. They started with a lie and they kept using lies to justify it.
Yeah.
And we talked about in another show about emotion and logic. There is no logic in anything they're doing.
No, it's not.
This is just bad behavior by men.
Like I think another one really good scene. I think this probably I call it the most redeeming part of this movie is when Ricky Stanicky gets hired by the
William H. Macy.
Gets hired by him, and then he immediately goes hire the black guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And how are you allowing your friend to have no job? You're saying this is your best friend
this whole
whole time. He's been struggling the entire time.
Yep.
The first day one, Ricky goes and hires this dude.
Yep.
Day one. And then they're going like, he's horrible being here. He's just like, dude, he says the obvious. You guys never hired me.
Yeah.
He was like, you knew I was struggling.
Yep.
Yeah. He was like,
and if it really was that easy to give him, like an assistant or
job,
gopher,
But why didn't they?
Why didn't they? Because the point is like I think at the end of the whole point of this movie, I know it's supposed to be about friends, but this movie was showing that they were not friends. Like they were
exactly.
They were people
acquaintances bonded by
Ricky. Yeah, they were bonded by Ricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a secret that they kept together, and that's what kept them together. Was the Ricky Stanicky was the thing that held that whole friendship together.
Correct, and I think at the end they do that full circle when they go, "This is Ricky Stanicky, our best friend," because they actually now have all bonded over a character that they made up. And now it's infected their lives for real.
It's now real.
Yeah. And his life is now amazing. Straight up, his life is legit, amazing. Yeah.
And they did a good thing in the end. So I don't like some of the coming clean and some of the way they wrapped us all up with it, but they give us a full circle.
I actually do like it because finally we have a woman character at the end that saves those shitty dudes.
Yeah,
So that was something for me to hold on to instead of just like the man savior. We had a woman, but what I still don't like about it is it's a double-edged sword because women, even in the real world, are so forgiving. All the dumb things
we love all you for
men
thank you.
Do.
Thank you right now. So you know who I'm talking to. Thank you for yes. Thank you.
I can tell you after 25 years of marriage, my wife is a saint. She's immediately going to heaven. There's no possible way. All the things that she's forgiven me for. Oh, you guys, women just have this forgiving nature, but these guys were assholes, and here they still are, even at the end, going like, well, it's gonna take some time, but I'm gonna forgive the shit out of you, you know. And as they move that bullshit forward, here we are, you know. But at the same time, all these men's lives could have been ruined.
Yes.
And a woman came to the rescue, flipped the script,
legitimately saved them.
Oh yeah,
And it wasn't forced.
Yeah.
It wasn't forced.
It wasn't
forced
at all.
It felt vicariously written. So
really, you know, if you're gonna believe this kind of movie, turn your brain off and believe this kind of movie. That was just like the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. You know, the jerk off song, you know, that you wanted to sing. You know,
those jerk off songs are in the background right now. They're here. They're real. With all that being said, though, like you said, it wraps up the end. I like the end credit scene. The end credit scene made everything come full circle.
Yeah, and for me, again, this is like when you're trying too hard. You know, and they're, but I did love the term air dicker.
That was because you know I thought to myself, I was like, you know, I've actually seen people do that before.
Yes, it's funny when you see it.
I do love the term that they brought it to everybody's attention.
It's weird. Yeah, I had never thought about it.
You
I was
have
like,
covers that like to do this when they talk, and they'd be like, so this.
William H. Macy's character, Summer Hayes, or
Summer Hayes. Yep.
You know, it makes you know, it's just too obvious. You know, if it was a little more subtle, I would have thought that was hilarious. You know, but then like in the end credits, you know, he even has the fist and he puts his finger in the back of it. You know, if he would have licked his finger first and then put it in the back of it, I would have been on board. You know, but you know, here
you have to lick it. Nobody goes dry.
That's right.
You said nobody goes dry.
Nobody. There's a song, you gotta lick it before you stick it. You know, if it would have been a little more true to form, I might have been on board. But yeah. That's all I have to say about that.
I don't know about you guys, but I laugh more calories away while we're doing this, man.
Yeah.
But I really think that this show was more enjoyable than this. So everyone still needs to go watch this, and we're going to kind of wrap this up with that being said. We get a Farrelly ending. Watch the end credit scene. The end credit scene's I did like the Rip Santa, though. He definitely sold out for that Rip Santa. He made a Rip Santa, all right.
I dig that.
Yeah, so they got to pay off. But now we go to the point where I'm going to feel bad for this movie. We're going to the excellence scale. So we're laying up the excellence scale up on the screen in front of you, and who wants to go first on this one? Yeah, all right, go ahead.
I don't know how to play 100%. I have no clue how to rate this movie because it goes from absolute waste to maybe insipid.
Sure, but I mean, it had awful cringy parts.
Yeah.
But then it had some redeeming qualities at the same time.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why I say I have a hard time with the rating scale because there are times when I was like, I can't watch this anymore.
Yeah.
And then I had to power through in order to finish watching the movie.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna give it a wonderful.
Okay.
You know, it's above. It's certainly not insipid.
Okay.
But at the very bottom of the good is where it is for me. I would give it a wonderful. If it's out there, you know, and you have literally nothing else to do, turn it on. Or if you've already had 4 or 5 beers, turn it on.
Okay.
You know, it is something that will entertain. You know, but if you go into it too seriously, like, you know, you think it's going to make you laugh, you're going to be very disappointed.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's what it is. I think because I said I had hangover vibes to start off with. I thought it was gonna be like another one of those movies where they go do some shenanigans, and the shenanigans aren't really paying out like the way it is, and then all of a sudden you just get hit with a right cross. You know, of like what is happening like right now, and I think that's where I think for me.
Yeah,
but
it's the lowest part of good for me. I'm gonna give it a wonderful.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I'll play in that sandbox with you. I have no issue. I think the hardest part about this that we're gonna have is it, when we go to the best of show screen here, is it better than Spaceman?
It is better than Spaceman for me
because it has a storyline. Yeah, Spaceman is terrible.
Yeah,
I'll say that. I can't stress that enough.
Spaceman needs to go under the armpit.
Yeah, definitely
under the armpit. Okay,
it's going to end up way down there.
Under the armpit portion. All right, we'll make sure that finds there.
Yeah, it's definitely worse than Spaceman.
It's better than Spaceman.
Oh, I'm sorry, definitely better. It's definitely better than Spaceman.
Yeah, definitely better than Spaceman.
Like, not better than Barbie.
As much as I don't like the magical black character, I would say that it still is better than Spaceman.
Yeah.
Because Spaceman went nowhere.
Well, you're going to see this is kind of the problem with comedies as a whole.
Yeah.
You know, as we continue to move these forward and watch action movies, you know, tend to be higher rated, you know, even with the audiences, if we do a rom-com or if we do, you know, a tearjerker movie, you know, they're going to be naturally lower. It's just the nature of the beast. Even when you go to IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes, a successful comedy is like a 5.5 and above.
Okay.
You know, it's the same with horror movies. Horror movies are about a 5.5 and above. They're just not rated the same way as like Die Hard.
Okay.
You know, so
Ooh, Die Hard.
you know, and that's how you know if you can get into the 6s or 7s as a comedy, that's a complete success.
Okay.
Yeah. He's completely correct. I 100% would agree with him there. Anything you want to wrap up here? Anything we missed? Anything you guys feel is necessary? What we do? No. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we gave it to you, Ricky Stanicky. Definitely, just like Frank said, watch in the background. You'll be happy that you didn't waste your time on this. Do not pay for this movie. Do not pay for this movie.
Right.
If you get free shipping, you don't have to you don't have to pay for the movie.
Just use somebody else's Amazon
That's
account.
right.
That's the best way to do it.
And it's almost like they paid you to watch it.
Yeah.
Paid you to watch it. You know what? On that note, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. I appreciate all you good people out there. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support you guys are sending us out. We love doing this every week. We do this just as much for you guys as we do for ourselves.
We do it out
have
of
a
love.
blast.
We do it out of love.
It is. This is a together project. Join us on this ride. Tell your friends. We're here. We're not going to stop. So join the family. Join the ride. See you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings the program to its unfortunate end. If you liked or hated it so much you can't wait to see what we say next, smash that subscribe and like button. Join the family. Join the ride.
Wait, you guys are still here? The show's over. We all went away. We need time to rest and make new material. Well, why are you guys still here? Well, if you're still here, let's go ahead and let's get you some bonus content. A brief backstory. As a kid, I can have fond memories of with my uncles of just sitting there singing with the guitar. Now, I can't play the guitar, but they could play a guitar, and they were both pretty smart, and we would come up with funny lyrics to everything. Grizzlor, He-Man, G.I. Joe, everything with that. Like, every song had some variety. I'm sure every single person has done something like this through the course of their lives. So I couldn't miss the opportunity, because I don't like to miss opportunities, of being able to take advantage of the Ricky Stanicky with the X-rated songs with masturbation. So for your viewing pleasure, I came up with two that I'm quite fond of with it. Just, he's out of a job. The job's vacant right now, and, I'm not too non-prone to go to Atlantic City and take my act there. The first song that I want to introduce to you is Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Now, our version, of course, would be Smells Like a Woman Spirit, to keep with the masturbation theme. And I'm not going to sing you the whole song, but here's just a brief excerpt from the recordings.
With the lights out, it's more mysterious. Here we are now, ejaculate us. I feel rock hard and salacious. Here we are now, masturbate us, yeah.
As you can see, it's quite passionate rendition. Really brings that extra gusto that you need when you're just trying to get done and you gotta get that final little bit out. So the next one I'd like to present for your viewing pleasure is Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer, one of the classic rock songs of all time. Where ours is going to be Living on the Penis. And without further ado, here you go.
Tommy's got his cock ringing hard. Now he's holding it in when he used to make it come so tough. Oh, it's rough. Gina dreams of spooging away. She cries in the night, Tommy whispers, baby, it's okay, you'll come again someday. Well, Tommy and Gina, they're not having a good time. Maybe he can get that cock ring out of Hawk, and they can get going to doing better stuff. But there's just a couple bonus for you guys. We appreciate all the subscribers, all the viewers supporting the channel. Please interact below. Thank you for your time. You guys are the best. I'll see you next episode. See ya.